welcome to MASKCAST. My name's Nick Johns, I'm a TV producer and I am a Masked Singer superfan. And we have got an absolutely banging episode of MASKCAST for you today.
Welcome aboard the good ship Masked Singer, or as I like to call it, the Clues Liner.
We've got creative director Beth Honan, who tells us all about how she brings those incredible characters to life. The silly sausage that is Joss Stone is back to play Maskermind. And I'm absolutely thrilled to say, you asked, we listened, by popular demand, we've got knitting, that's Claire Richards, back to help me out with the superfan Super Take.
Who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya? Who's that behind the mask?
After her last appearance on MASKCAST, so many of you got in touch and asked that we got her back to do some more Clue review with us, and I'm thrilled to say that she's agreed. It's only Claire Richards.
Only me.
It's only Claire Richards, Masked Singer superfan. Claire, I don't even want to talk about how smug I am to have seen Melody Thornton on Saturday night.
I know. So when she was revealed, I was so annoyed. I was so annoyed that I didn't get it right.
I knew it, and I got more and more sure as time went on. Because the thing about her is that all the clues would fit in, and it's so rare that happens. But the clues were like, it was the clues that had convinced me of it. Let's start with cricket.
Hey, MASKCAST, this is Sam from Warrington. I think cricket really sounds like Simon Webb from Blue. There was that all rise clue, and I can really hear Simon when he sings.
Hi, this is Sarah from Tring in Hertfordshire. I think that cricket could maybe be David Grant, because he was in Fame Academy. He was a voice coach, and I think he would be quite flexible and be able to rap like in tonight's episode.
Hi Nick, it's Yolanda here. Cricket was proper lush. I'm 50-50 between Simon Webb and Lamar. Both voices are super soulful and can really sing. Lamar is a bit taller though, and Cricket is as tall as Joel.
Claire, did I see you shaking your head when Simon Webb's name was mentioned?
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I do get it, but it's Lamar 100%. I am so sure that it's Lamar. I think the clues are trying to lead people down the Simon Webb path.
Right.
On purpose. And
right.
There was one, was it last week or the week before? It said S Webb. And
well, it was so obviously leading us down the Simon Webb route. And actually, I think on Saturday night we had All Rise. When we first saw cricket, we had All Rise on the desk. And I did think of you, in fact, because what we did hear on Saturday night was Le marching orders. Is he going to get his Le marching orders? And I thought that's probably the first time we've heard Lamar's name kind of properly mentioned.
So there was parts of London that were mentioned last week as well that were... Simon's from Manchester. He's not from London.
Yeah.
Lamar is from Tottenham, so it's 100% Lamar. It's just that his tone, and this is where I am now matching up the clues to the voice. When you hear it, and you just know that it's that person, then you can start matching up the clues. But for me, it was all about the voice right from the start and his tone. And Simon has got a similar tone, but he's a bit lower. If it turns out to be Simon Webb, I'm going to have a real egg on my face because I've actually toured with him quite a lot. And I won't ever live it down.
Next up was that barnstorming performance from Bigfoot.
Hi, MASKCAST. It's Derek from Gloucestershire ringing in about Bigfoot this week. I read on X from Claire Richards, who is the goddess of clues, that you should sometimes just listen to the voice. And I did this week with Bigfoot, and I think it's James Acaster.
Hi Nick, it's Ruby here from Camden. I'm loving the show. I was screaming at the television last night as Bigfoot is clearly Alex Brooker. Mo, Davina and Jonathan have got it right. That is Alex Brooker.
Hey MASKCAST, this is Joe from Warrington. I think Bigfoot is brilliant. It's definitely a comedian. Everyone seems to think it's Alex Brooker, but what about another comedy legend, Keith Lemon? He's definitely got Bigfoot energy.
This is the first time I've heard Keith Lemon's name mentioned for Bigfoot.
I mean, I don't think you can't disguise that voice. He's so northern. There's just no way. And Bigfoot is 100% not a northerner.
Right.
It is Alex Brooker. 100% agree with that. And last week was the week that convinced me that it was.
Really? Go on. What was it that convinced you?
Well, because it's eat wine. It just sounds like him. It absolutely sounds. And for a minute, when he first started, there was a bit. He's got a very similar speaking voice to Anthony Costa.
Yes.
They must be from the same kind of area,
right?
And I know Anthony really well. And at first I was thinking, no, it can't be. It can't be. It can't. No, it's not. And then as it went on, I thought it is definitely Alex Brooker.
What's really interesting with Bigfoot is right from the beginning, the only names that we've been getting are comedians' names. There must be something about that kind of energy, the movement, the delivery. Let's talk about the incredible air fryer.
Hi there, it's Julie from Guildford. Now, let's talk about air fryer. She has the most beautiful voice, and one of the clues referred to Sister Act. And there is a wonderful singer who has also been on Desert Island Discs, another clue, who is going to star in Sister Act, and that is Beverly Knight. So that's my guess for air fryer. I've been racking my brains week on week about her. But there you go.
It's Derek from Gloucestershire, having just watched Air Fryer take the roof off with Defying Gravity. And I'm thinking, WWCD, what would Claire do? I'm looking at the clues and I'm thinking it's obviously someone who can sing really well. Started on a talent competition. The person I'm thinking of started on Blind Date. And Global, the person I'm speaking of, presents the Heart Breakfast Show. Could it be Amanda Holden?
WWCD. What would Claire
I
do?
like that.
There we go. Well,
I do like that.
We can answer that for real. What would Claire do?
I think, and again, the Sister Act road I've thought about being in a talent competition. I think it might be Brenda Edwards.
I am pleased to hear you say this, Claire.
Yeah.
Because Brenda Edwards' name came up here yesterday. And I was looking at ways to connect Brenda Edwards, and actually, there are a good few points of connection there because she did do Sister Act on tour, right? And I think she also appeared in Hairspray in the West End, and I think there are some hairdressing, like Hairspray connections. There is a Loose Woman tie-in, this sort of help from a girl from Chigwell. We wondered whether that might link into Linda Robson and Loose Women. And so actually, there's a lot to make sense of.
There was one clue that was something about icons, wasn't it? Being on a panel with icons or sitting with icons or something like that as well. I don't know. I just think I think the Sister Act connection is the kind of strongest link. I do think it is a slightly older voice as well. It's not a young person. I mean, if you think about it, musical theatre singers, unless you are, I suppose, you're Elaine Page and Michael Ball and people like that have recorded a lot as well. It's voices that you kind of know, and it's been a long time since she did X Factor as well.
Absolutely.
So it's not a voice that's in the forefront of your mind all the time. Sings a lot on stage. Unless you go to the theatre and watch that certain performer all the time, you're not really gonna to know.
Woo!
Oh my God!
That was wicked, literally, in many different ways.
That was amazing!
We're moving on to the one that I'm having most difficulty with, and that is the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, I agree.
Hi, MASKCAST. This is Helen from Culcheth. We are loving your show, thank you, and we are loving The Masked Singer this year. But we really think Eiffel Tower is a proper soul singer. So we think it's going to be someone like Kim Mazel or maybe Sade. I don't think she's been in it before. Okay, thanks, bye.
Hi, MASKCAST. It's James from Nottingham. I'm absolutely loving the show. I was obsessed with Eiffel Tower's performance last night, but not quite as obsessed as I am with the Umbrella Academy. Because of that clue, for me, it's got to be I Think We're Alone Now legend, Tiffany.
Hi, MASKCAST. Hi, Nick. This is Derek ringing in about this time Eiffel Tower. Now, she's had us Fox for weeks, so I'm going to go left field and think, good vocalist, who would be able to pull that off? And I'm going to say Nadine Coyle from Girls Aloud. So it is it not?
What do you think, Claire? Do you think that's Nadine Coyle underneath those girders?
I do not think that is Nadine Coyle underneath all those girders. This is the one that's frustrating me the most.
Me too.
I'm so sure I know the voice and I just cannot. I just can't place it. There's a hint of Gabrielle about it, and I know it can't be Gabrielle because she's been there and done it.
Right.
And none of the clues, just nothing really makes sense to me at all. I can't.
Agreed. Agreed.
And it's so not, because every time I hear her sing, I just think, oh my God, I know that voice, and I know it will come, but at the moment it's just not at all, and I don't know.
I've watched Des'ree again.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched Kim Mazel performing again. I've watched Sonique. Sonique's the closest vocally that I was like, actually, could it be? We had Julia Sawala on the podcast, this year's Bubble Tea.
Yeah, and didn't get that one at all, by the way.
Julia said she wonders whether Eiffel Tower is an actress who can sing, and she almost felt like someone was playing performing.
There were lots of Paris clues and like Sex and the City, so I did go down a Sarah Jessica Parker rabbit hole and tried to find clips of her singing, and it's definitely not her.
She's in the West End. I mean,
exactly.
We know that she's here. We've got one more to go, and that is the powerhouse that is Piranha.
Yes.
Hi, MASKCAST. I've just watched Piranha sing, clearly a really talented performer, and I think feels like it's from one of the rockier boy bands. And after having Charlie Simpson on last year, I wonder if Masked Singer has bagged James Bourne to be Piranha.
It's Amelia from Cirencester. That Piranha is 100% Danny Jones from McFly. It's the Rocky voice, split jump, and rock hand signal. He's my winner. Love McFly, love Danny.
I'm Iz from South East London, and to be honest, I'm not the best detective when it comes to the clues, but I'm really convinced that Piranha is James Arthur, just because he's got such a distinctive voice. But my family aren't having any of it, so please back me up here.
Are we backing Izzy up? Is it James Arthur underneath that Piranha costume?
No,
Piranha looks shorter than James Arthur.
Yeah,
I'd say that much.
I love his voice and everything, but I don't think it's James Arthur. I don't think you would see him in a Piranha suit in a million years.
McFly, are you thinking McFly?
Out of everybody, it does sound like Danny, but I do feel like he's holding back a little bit. So, and that's what's making me unsure. That is it someone that just sounds like him? The thing that tells me over everything is when you go on Twitter, so many people have said, I've listened to this man sing for 20-something years. I have not a doubt in my mind that it's Danny Jones.
I mean, we had that Royal Albert Hall clue on Saturday night. McFly have performed at the Royal Albert Hall. I mean, I've just got a few others. I mean, Jamie Cullum's name's been mentioned before. He's performed at the Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah.
Tom Grennan has been mentioned in the past.
It's not Tom Grennan.
Performed at the Royal Albert Hall. And the only other people that I pulled out, The Wanted performed at the Royal Albert Hall. I thought they wanted kind of that boy band vocal, rocky vocal. Maybe that's somewhere else that you could go to find that kind of vocal, but not much of it has persuaded me away from McFly.
You could probably go through most singers or most bands and you could say, oh, they've performed it. Even Steps have performed at the Royal Albert Hall.
What do you mean? What do you mean even Steps?
Well, I mean, it was a long time ago.
Even Steps.
Even Steps. It's, I think you can kind of, that's a very loose.
Agreed.
A very loose clue in which you could apply to anybody. But
agreed.
It's strange because Danny, right from the word go, I thought it sounds like a boy band voice.
Right.
But McFly, I wouldn't consider them to be a boy band technically. I mean, they are.
Agreed.
But he has got that kind of voice. And fun fact about Danny Jones, H&I presented a kids' talent show many, many years ago. And Danny was in a band with his school called Y2K, and he came on and auditioned on our TV show.
This is
incredible.
McFly, so this is incredible intel. You've heard that voice early. You've heard that voice earlier than McFly fans. Grassroots Piranha fan. Y2K. Let's keep an eye out for the clues. You heard it here first.
If there's any Steps to the Stars references, then which will be really random and no one will know, then that will just tell me.
Keep your eyes peeled for them.
Piranha, everyone!
Will you come back and help us with more clues?
I will. Next week, we're going to have it every single one nailed. That Eiffel Tower is going down.
That is the promise, that next week we bring down the Eiffel Tower. Look forward to it.
Who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya? Who's that behind the mask?
Now, here on MASKCAST, it has been amazing to speak to so many of the characters, and in doing that, one name keeps cropping up. And I am delighted to say that today, that person is joining us on the podcast. It's Masked Singer Creative Director Beth Honan. Beth, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, Beth, you are legend on this podcast. I wonder if you could start by just telling us a little bit about your role on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the creative director of the live performances, not creative director of the whole show. So I deal with everything that you see on the stage when all the characters are performing, graphics, the lighting, the storyline, the costumes, the choreography. So I'm the person that does all those crazy things that you see on the stage.
You are essentially the woman who brings those characters to life. Is it right to say that those characters live inside your head?
Yes, they do. And I'm very, very precious about it. I don't want to know who's inside until we get into rehearsals. So when I find out months before the characters, I'm not interested in who's inside it, because I just want to create for the character. So what is their world? What do they eat? Who will their friends be? Where would they go out? What's their house look like? And that's what I love doing. But if I know who's inside there, then I would constantly be thinking about that. And I don't want to see that. I just think about the character and I get very involved in it. Like, I really believe they're real.
I'm so interested in the creative process about bringing those characters to life. How does it get from your head onto the stage? Do you create mood boards? Do you put images together? What's your creative process?
So what I do is I get sent the characters, and it's very important to me that they are characters, they're not costumes. So I'll never call them a costume. So I get sent the characters and then I put them all in their own document or mood board, as you call it. And I start pulling references. So say I'm looking at Monster, for example, or Blob, or any of them. So then I start to work out what their house would look like.
Yeah.
So then I go on to Fairy Tale on the internet, and I'll start looking at what the kind of houses would be and what colours they'd be. And then I decide who their friends would be. So then I go searching for images of like a pet mouse or a pet hamster or something. And I start pulling them in, and then the colours and the costumes of the dancers, because they're the friends of the characters. And that's how I start building it up. And then I do it for every single character. And once I've got their worlds down, then I get given the songs they're going to perform. And then from that, I then start building the creatives for each performance. So if I'm told the song that it's going to be, or it's themed, like we've just had a circus week or a school week, I will theme it around that, but in the world they would be. So for example, air fryer. If they were doing a school theme, they'd be in the cookery class because they're the air fryer. So that's what I do with each thing. I just build them up until we have every single creative for all the songs right the way through the series. But as you look at them, as you put them on the wall, because the execs put them on the wall in a row, as you look at them for the 12 characters, you can all see their definitive world. So one world wouldn't go into another world. Every character has to have its place, just like they do in the movies that kids and adults love.
Yeah.
So if you have a fairy tale character like Fawn is going to live in a woodland.
Yeah.
Their friends will be fairies and elves and rabbits, and they will have fairy tale banquets, and everything will be really beautiful and gold. But then if you put that next to Badger, well, Badger lives in a world of Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
And their signature thing is that. Everything about their mannerisms are a real, that kind of guy that gets off a big Harley bike and everything's dusty and lots of nighttime and lighting, and they live sometimes like in a Badger set. But I turned the nightclub and I called it Set. If I get an animal character, then I research where they live and who their friends would be. They don't say no to me the more wacky I go. We've just had Dancing Chips on the TV at the weekend, and then we had dancing goats holding bags of chips. And I was watching it at home, laughing so hard. And my mum said to me, she went, "But you did this?" And I went, "Yeah, but it's so funny." I had memories of the performance for Dippy Egg. They did the Proclaimers 500 miles. And in rehearsals, the 4 Highland cows that walk along the catwalk had a pile up. And one fell over, and the next one fell on top of that cow, and another cow, and had 4 cow pile up. And we were helpless. And then they managed to get each other up. This is in rehearsals. And then they walk past the judges, and they go onto the stage. And then there's a bit where they're all galloping round in a circle, and the first Highland cow took out one of my eggs. So now I've got a cow taking out one of my dancers who's dressed as an egg, because I wanted those eggs to be Dippy Egg's friends. So you see that every week they feature with Dippy Egg, almost like a boy band, if you like. And so we were like, okay, well, one's got to have a kilt on, and the other one will put a big beard on, and we were just celebrating everything that we see as Scottish. Of course, there's many more things, but just the look of it.
So obviously that was a tribute to all things Scottish on stage there, wasn't it? Do we have any Scottish people in this evening?
Wow.
Well, so no one was offended. Great. Okay.
Beth, are you allowed to have favourites?
No, of course not. Absolutely not. But there are certain characters for me, for my imagination, that I fall in love with. It's nothing about the person inside. It's about the character. So how could you not love Dragon?
Yes.
I loved the rainbow tummy. I loved that their tail was huge. I just loved everything about them. But then what really makes it is if you have a celebrity who falls in love with their character and gets it So when I work with them on their own, because I work with each of them individually to bring their mannerisms to life, we get locked in a cabin with security outside. And that's when I find out who it is.
I wanted to talk about some of the fan favourites.
Oh, okay.
And I think you can start all the way back in series 1 with Queen Bee, right? Like Queen Bee, was she a fun character to create?
There's actually a story to this. So Queen Bee, if you look at the character, actually the face was quite scary. The porcelain doll.
Yes.
You could have played it a totally different way. But I made her very regal and very fluttery and delicate. So this was like this is what she did with her hands all the time. And she put her head to one side because that gave her vulnerability rather than a scary doll like what you'd see in a haunted movie. But then what happened is that when the celeb arrived, she's one of my closest friends. And I didn't know it was her. Because I did Girls Aloud for 10 years. I do Girls Aloud.
Amazing.
So she comes into the cabin and I still haven't worked it out. She's got a giant hoodie on with Don't Speak to Me and everything. And she takes it off. And I was like, oh, wow. She's got an incredible voice.
What a joy.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. So that was amazing because I'm so close to her. We could work really well together.
Yeah.
And she was so into her character. She loved it. And Nick has got the most incredible voice. Like, I've always loved her voice. So she just suited that character. It was looking at the character and going, this could be taken as quite scary.
Yeah.
Because, do you know what I mean? Like the cracked porcelain face. The eyes were very big. But then just that slight change of the way you do things, that twist of the head, the vulnerability, the walk, the fluttering.
Yeah.
And suddenly she becomes quite dainty and fragile.
And ethereal. Yeah, absolutely.
Alan Johnson as Pharaoh. He had to learn all the words to walk like an Egyptian. Have you any idea how many words there are in the verses of Walk Like an Egyptian? I spent my whole time in the cabin with him going over them again and again and again. Because all people hear in their heads is, walk like an Egyptian. Read the verses. So another character was Jacket Potato, which was Richie Sambora. And he got so into his character and we came up with this whole backstory that Jacket Potato lives in Las Vegas, lived there for 60 years, performs there on the Strip, used to be like a real headline artist and over the years has gone into smaller and smaller clubs, but still drives down the centre of the Strip in a big open-topped Mustang and waves at everybody and everybody knows who Jacket Potato is. And the cafe they go into, they get free food because everybody's so excited that Jacket Potato's going in. I really enjoyed working with him because he totally fell in love with it. Another person to work with who was absolutely incredible and is a legend, of course, Dionne Warwick. But Dionne Warwick doesn't use in-ears. She likes to work with wedges right in front of her, so she's got the sound coming through. So when I found out, I thought, no, I totally get it. That's what you work with. You are a legend, and that's what you've been doing for so many decades. Absolutely fine. So I ran to Neijin, the art director. She's got like a massive warehouse at the back filled with all these props. And I went, I need clouds. I need clouds now. And Neij's just looking at me going, I don't think we've got any clouds here. And I went, I need clouds now, please. I've got to cover 2 big black sound wedges for weather. And so she's scrabbling and her team is making all these clouds for me and sticking on the front. And then got the girl dancers and asked for loads of extra tulle to be sent. So it looked like it was coming off the wedges and they were in front doing all faces and mouthing the choruses to like cover the wedges in front. And it's amazing when you have such an incredible team, how fast you can pull things together. Natalie Imbruglia was so in love with Panda. And we just talked about, Panda was an adventurer. And they loved going mountaineering and trekking and hiking, and they loved the wilderness in every way, but they were very shy. And so we added this story of them. They liked to be out on their own all the time, just off in their own world, and they really wanted to make friends, but they were too nervous to make friends. And that is where that extrovert introvert came out very much in the performance. Like when they were on stage performing, they really went out there, but then when they stopped, they became really shy. So we put this whole story behind Panda and why they are like that. And they just hadn't had very many friends, and they hadn't had much socialising. And these are serious conversations that I'm having locked in a cabin with a celebrity when we're practicing our walks. Some of the walks are so funny. That's one of my favourite things to do, to work out what that walk is and what the mannerisms are. That's another of my favourite things to do. What are the hand actions? How do they stand? How do they interact with Joel?
Give it up for Ford, everybody! Oh, for me! Oh!
Beth, it has been an absolute pleasure to talk to you today. And I just want to say thank you from Masked Singer fans everywhere for just that incredible brain of yours that brings so much joy through all those incredible characters. I feel like I could talk to you for days and days and days.
Yes. It's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed talking it through. You see, I'm very enthusiastic about it, and it's been nice talking it through with you, and I can hear that you know so much about the shows. You know all the characters, so it's lovely to talk about it with you, and thank you for having me.
Who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya? Who's that behind the mask?
She is a Masked Singer champion, but can she be a Maskermind champion? Sausage is back with a bang, and she's about to take on our Masked Singer quiz. Josh, are you ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm so ready. Let's do this.
How are you feeling about Maskermind? I'm not sure that it's catching on in the way that I hoped that it would.
I 100% love that. I think that is
good.
All of your crazy little puns are great.
I will take that endorsement. I'll take that endorsement in a way that you can't even imagine. This is Maskermind. I've got 5 questions here, Joss. They are all taken from the Masked Singer board game.
Okay.
Here we go.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Tracy Chapman's Fast Car was performed by which Masked Singer? Was it performed by A. Swan, B. Dragon, or C. Harlequin?
Harlequin.
Harlequin? You're saying Harlequin?
Yeah.
Because it is Harlequin. Congratulations,
Yes.
Joss. That's one.
Got it.
Can we make
Boom.
it 2? Which iconic film and musical features the song A Spoonful of Sugar?
Oh.
Is it A, The Sound of Music? Is it B, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? Or is it C, Mary
Poppins?
It's I didn't even have to ask twice. It's
Mary
C,
Poppins.
Mary
Come on.
Poppins. That makes it 2.
Just a spoon.
Number 3.
I love that song.
Number 3. The scientific name for which Masked Singer character is Pantera unica.
Oh.
The scientific name for which Masked Singer character is Pantera unica. Is it A, fox? Is it B, snow leopard? Or is it C, badger?
Okay, Pantera unica.
Pantera unica.
I wonder if it's badger because of the panda pan, and badgers sort of look like pandas.
It's not. It's. I mean, it's
I have
definitely
no
a
idea.
logic.
Unica.
It's
Pantera unica. Gosh, I don't know. Let's go with badger.
Go with badger. You're saying C, badger. It's a snow leopard.
Oh, of course.
But we're still on
Unica.
2. We're still on 2. Here we go.
Okay.
In which US state would you find the original Disneyland theme park? Would you find it in A, Florida, B, Illinois, or C, California?
Florida.
It's in California. It's in California. Oh, man. Question number 5, Joss, just for you. Okay. You like this one? This is from the official Masked Singer board game. Which accessory did Sausage wear when performing? I mean, come on. Don't get this wrong.
I know.
Which accessory did Sausage wear when performing Lizzo's Good As Hell?
It was my hair extension.
Is it A, sweatband?
Nope.
Is it B, a ponytail wig? Or is it C, a gherkin-shaped necklace?
I love that. I wish it was a gherkin-shaped necklace.
I mean, it should have been a gherkin-shaped necklace, right?
It was the ponytail wig.
It was the ponytail wig.
Yes.
And that makes it, Joss, 3 out of 5, which is a very, very good score. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for playing Maskermind.
That was so fun.
Come back and do it again.
I have to get the board game. I need to get
one
of those.
You definitely need the board game.
That is so brilliant. I didn't even know there was one.
We'll send you one.
Oh, let's get one. I'm down for that.
Who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya? Who's that behind the mask?
That was an amazing attempt at Maskermind from Sausage. And Maskcasters, we want you to get in touch with us. I want your voice notes. So, when you're watching the show, when you're thinking about the show, I want your theories of who is left in those masks. Send us a voice note to 07999 584 515. Claire and I need your help. We need your voice notes. 07999 584 515. And I'd like you to subscribe to Maskcast. Tell a friend and make sure that you subscribe. Thanks very much for listening. We will be back next time. Goodbye.
Who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya?